And just like that, you know how the famous statement goes, we're back again. It is Who's Fighting episode 53. And we have your guest, no, sorry, the host for the day. The famous faces, not famous, but the faces that you see continuously, randomly, sometimes on a Sunday, sometimes on a Wednesday, but today on a Thursday. Let's call this a midweek special. Fellas, how have you been?
Woo.
Woo. Hey,
Man,
week is
I'm
almost
I'm
done.
straight, bro. I'm straight. Detroit just lost a tough one. You know what I mean? We can't really afford to lose too many at home at Little Caesars. MSG is a tough place to play. But I'm gonna get over it. We're gonna see if Kansas City can make my day better with who they select here later on in the draft.
Well, yeah. How about you, Cam? Looks like you're on mute. Oh, there you go.
The light shining. So anyway, oh man, it's been good, man. My son took his first steps last week, so that was cool, and he been on 10, man. So getting a little sleep, I could use more, but it's been all good though.
Wait till he learns how to climb out of his crib.
Oh
In the middle
man,
of the night. It's gonna happen.
he's
And
doing some stuff, bro. He hey,
once he can,
I'm just here right now. I'm just here.
well, that's when you become a parent right there. When you start to get that anxiety of like, oh my gosh, don't climb that, don't jump off that, don't do this, and at the end of the day, man, like it's just some innate thing they have where they just learn and they figure it out without hurting themselves, and you just realize they're just
Right.
small human beings that have agility and all sorts of athletic ability. Like you'll be surprised what little babies can do or toddlers. So salute to
Man.
baby Cosmo.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So, guys, should we do a quick recap of last Saturday? We had some fights. Actually, Kam
A lot
Gee
of
put
fights.
us on the Riyadh Grand Prix. There was a boxing Grand Prix that showcased talent all over the world. That Cam, you were very impressed. I didn't watch it, but Cam, you were very impressed with some of the talent that you saw during this Grand Prix. And how was the event, by the way?
Oh, I really enjoyed. I ended up getting a chance to watch all of the heavyweights, and I believe it was a good portion of the middleweights.
You did some serious
Uh,
homework there.
yeah, well, it was, my son, he wants to be up at like 4 in the morning. So, hey, boxing's on, we're gonna watch some boxing. And so caught the heavyweights. It was like 8 knockouts out of 16 fights. So
Wow.
that's pretty. I feel like, hey, that's YouTube Sunday morning with your son chilling. I feel like that's a win in itself. So there was a heavyweight from the United States. Oh man, I know I got it in our chat. I'm about to pull it up here shortly, but he was the most explosive for today. He also fought in the Team Combat League. I want to say last name Alexander, heavyweight, but very entertaining, very exciting to see a league of this type of caliber with those guys at 6 to 10 fights, and trying to get their name out, and they're hungry, and guys are really finding out like, all right, how good are you? And
Right.
man, I'm looking forward to the next rounds.
I know you talked about Elfram Barrico. Is it was named Barrico.
One of our Frenchmen.
Yeah, that you were impressed with him, because when I asked you did you see any gem in there, and you're like that guy's a gem. How was his showcase?
Well, first of all, like his physical stature. A lot of times you see guys that are like really built, muscular, they tire out. These were 6-round fights. I thought he did get tired, which is normal for this stage of boxing and career. You don't have a team behind you and a nutritionist and a whole program, but he showed a lot of skill, a lot of determination, and a lot of will. But one interesting thing about him was that he picked up boxing on YouTube. So he was self-taught to get into boxing on YouTube. And now he's fighting the Grand Prix and won his first round matchup. So that was just impressive in itself.
how is the concept in the whole event? Like, does it work to have quick 6 rounds, multiple fights like a tournament style? Like, how does that look like?
I thought the pacing of the event was great. Mind you, these were 16 different fights. Once that fight ended, the next fight was on within 5-10 minutes, so there wasn't a big delay between the fights. So the heavyweight event ended a lot earlier, but the featherweight event, I believe, went on for a very long time because I believe there were 0 knockouts.
Yeah, I remember that first day the live stream was like 9 hours long.
That's all day boxing. So shout out to the Zone and the commentators and our color guys, because they're doing all the fights, so.
And and shout out to them. Like the product is actually really good because you have like the actual announcers, right? It may not be the 20,000 people there, but you still got the announcers and the commentators and things of that nature that make it a quality experience. So
right, exactly, and it was. I actually got the heavyweight's name. It's Devin or Devon Young. I'm not sure the pronunciation, but had a second round knockout over Pavlo Yuskiv. So he's going to the second round. He was out of one of our Carolinas. Fought in the Team Combat League. A very explosive knockout. Check it out.
Yeah. So what was like the incentive for the winner of this? I know this is a WBC thing. Do you get ranking? Do you get like what if you win this whole Grand Prix? What's the incentive? And I'm trying to research that right now.
Well, I was just thinking without even doing a Google search. I don't know as y'all are right now, but the notoriety of winning a boxing tournament is that's if you just go off of just the intangible side of it, just the bragging rights. You went the division. You fought with people all around the world at this stage in Riyadh, and came out on top. So ultimately, we're going to have three divisions, 3 winners of the tournament. You would expect it to turn to some type of elevation in their career and more opportunities, and you're doing it in front of Turkey, who's all about giving guys opportunities. So at the minimum there, I do the announcers did mention these guys are getting paid. I know that there were more than probably what they were getting paid right, even at the phase 1 LT.
So I'm on the website right now, and it says the grand prize is $200,000 in cash that is awarded to each divisional winner. The title opportunity here, the winner from each division gets a mandatory challenge, becomes a mandatory challenger for the WBC silver title belt. So, and then nice. So they're mandatory, like they kind of now get on that ladder. So it's pretty good. That's a good fast track. Yeah, that's a good deal. And $200,000 cash. I'm assuming that's tax free. I don't know. It's done
So there's also like experimental rules at play here. I don't know if we touched on this when we read over it, but no draws. So there's a decisive result in every fight.
Yes, that happened. It came up.
Open scoring after rounds 2, 4, and 6, providing transparency and excitement. Also, instant replay, ensuring fair and accurate scoring by officials.
Turkey did it again.
And I put something in a private chat. I saw some more research. They paying you per round. So that's crazy. And it increases every time you go to a different phase. So, I mean, is that 200,000 plus bonuses that you get over. So it's incentivized. There's a lot of
those nuances matter. Watching the product live, it made it a very clean experience. The judging was announced on PA in the arena. I love that, and they did a couple of different things. there's a 30-second horn that kind of trips some fighters out. Horn that goes like a straight air horn, and a couple times guys would stop because it's not a traditional thing. So there's a 30-second horn, and then at the 10-second mark you had the knock. It was just a different thing. There also was a fighter in the division, I believe, that applied on the WBC website, had no team, wanted to be in the Grand Prix, submitted on the website. He ended up losing his bout, but it was one of the heavyweights, but he applied on the website. So you had opportunities from just applying on the website. I just thought that was crazy.
But this is like, so with the open scoring, when you know that you're at a disadvantage, like in football, and you're in the fourth quarter, you can elect to onside kick because you're behind on the scorecard. Mm-hmm. Just like the game that just ended in the NBA, you're down and you have to foul. So with the transparency and the scorecards in a boxing match, if you got some dog in you and you're down on the scorecard, you're gonna go be aggressive. Mm-hmm. And we've seen this unofficially at times. We've seen Floyd Mayweather say this to Gervonta. I think we've even seen it with Terrence. I think Terrence Corner said they telling you that you're down when he was fighting Sean Porter.
Sean Porter. Yeah. He couldn't believe it. He was like, what? I'm down.
Okay. So
that competitive drive. I think that's a great tender to the fire of that. And announcing it, letting everybody know, instead of us getting to the end and we have this random 118, the 118, 110 card.
Put a scoreboard up there in the sky. Make it like a scoreboard or something.
Exactly. Not exactly. So it made a great experience.
I know this is always nice to see people doing experimental ways to make the conventional approach, progressive, and I like to see it in a sport that is so old. Like boxing is maybe the oldest sport. I don't know. I could do some research, but I think fighting or combat sports or of its kind, wrestling or boxing must be one of the oldest sports. And having to change its rigid ways, how long have we had 12 rounds? When are we going to go to multi? We've been doing 12 rounds since the early 90s, I guess, mid 90s. I can't even remember.
Late 80s, early 90s.
Late 80s, yeah. So like it's been rigid, and that's like 30 years ago. So it's always good to see these progressive ways, a progressive way or a progressive approach to bring my excitement to the sport. Because I'll tell you this, like 3-4 years ago, boxing was suffering, and mixed martial arts started having a little bit of a rise amongst the younger audience. And now, I hate to say it, but the Jake Pauls of this world brought the casuals back. And it's the truth. But and then now we have Turkey, who's making it interesting and bringing more of an international approach, getting models from different other sports with the Grand Prix idea. And, I like how they're doing it, and they're giving chances to people that conventionally don't have to go through the quintessential, promoter and having to cut their teeth through the little circuit that they do here to get to where they need to get to. So
I'm going to give Keith Thurman and Sean Porter a lot of credit too, because that fight took place, I believe, on CBS, and that was the first time in a long time that a fight of that caliber aired on regular TV. So the PBC played a big role in this too.
Yeah.
So it's good to see them finding a resurgence on a new platform.
A new platform. Salute to WBC. Salute to Riyadh season. Salute to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and all the people that are doing this and helping this untapped talent out there to get to the top. Hopefully, we get a world champion from this experiment. It'll be dope. All right, this one caught us by surprise. The veteran himself, I thought this guy had retired a long time ago. Mr. Sergey Kolovich.
So this is in Russia. So this was like during the daytime or something. I don't remember when I text you guys, but I'm just on YouTube and I'm like, Sergey Kovalov is live. You know, that was even more shocking than seeing what was it, Jarrett Hurd on Pro Box. Like, yeah, man.
Yeah,
Now,
man.
did we get confirmation on this? Was this his retirement match? Like, was this his going away party?
That's what I was how I understood it as well. It's like one of those like it feels like when somebody in football they retire, they sign a 1-day contract and retire with a team, but they haven't played a game in 2 years. Like, oh, okay. It was a dub, fight in front of your family to get a payday. That type of situation. Do we have a last fight date for him before this one? Because
oh my god,
that is what it really is.
And so we're talking about he's come to fame. He's fought Canelo Alvarez, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Cruiserweight. He was a cruiserweight champ, I believe, at one time.
Last fight actually was May 18th of 2024. Lost a unanimous decision to a Robin Sirwan
Safari. Yep. This was in Saudi Arabia.
This was at the Kingdom Arena. Okay.
And he also had a short feud with Andre Ward.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was 2017. Strap, we watched the second fight together at least.
Yeah. We watched. He lost both of them to me. I mean, the second one was, bro. That's when I knew Andre Ward was the truth, man. That TKO was, I mean, he was just too much. But
man,
like Sergey has been he's been an enigma in the cruiserweight, light heavyweight division, bro. He was one time quoted the boogeyman. The one that people didn't want to fight, and Jesus. I think my man Andre Ward unlocked him.
He's got legends across 3 generations on his.
You see his boxer?
He's got unanimous decision. Yeah, he's got unanimous decision.
He was a boogeyman. People avoided him for a long time, and then my man Andre Ward, I think, went up. Andre Ward is not a cruiserweight. I think he went up a little bit to fight him, and I was with you actually, LT, and we were worried. We were like, he's taking a risk fighting this guy who was undefeated at that time, I believe. And the first one was unanimous, I believe, and Andre Ward looked like he was struggling a little bit. He was. I think that was one of his few comeback fights after he was battling what he had been battling, Andre Ward, and then the second one. It was a masterclass, man. That's when I became an Andre Ward. I mean, I was already an Andre Ward fan, but I remembered who he was after his sabbatical when he went away because of healing and going through his trials and tribulations. And Sergey has not been the same after that. I mean, he did well with Anthony Yadi. That was a killing. He destroyed Yadi. But Canelo was the one that I was like, how is it possible this middleweight or super middleweight, I think Canelo is a middleweight, super middleweight, beat a cruiser who walks around as a heavyweight just like that. That knockout was disgusting, and that's when I was like, yo, size don't matter, bro. Like, if you're an elite boxer, you can get trapped and caught, because they trapped the hell out of Sergey. And I mean, he's not been the same ever since that fight, and I mean ever since Ward, because that's when his 5 losses started to pile up on. But hey, that's a hell of a
2 losses to Andre Ward and 1 loss to Canelo Alvarez. I mean, come on now.
2 victories over Jean Pascal to your name. You got a win over Anthony Yard. Like,
Yard, yes, some names.
You beat Bernard Hopkins, unanimous decision.
I mean, he had a career, man.
Pulev, who's at 1 loss.
So the real question here, we had a debate a while back, is with Sergey's catalog, is he a legend?
He's got a claim for the Hall of Fame, I think. Like,
yeah, because he's probably got a good amateur career. But legends, we have to protect that
he was a champ.
The ideation of people. He was a champ. I mean, there'll be always, everybody will be a legend. I think he was a really good fighter in his era. Tough. He has nothing to be ashamed of as far as how his career went. Like standing ovation, bravo, we got to win at home, but I don't think we can ascend him to legendary status.
He was once undisputed in the light heavyweight. I mean, when you get undisputed, you kind of get a Hall of Fame pass. At least if you held it for a certain period. He was undisputed in he was undisputed from 2015 to about, he lost his undisputed to Andre Ward. Yeah, he lost his undisputed. So he lost it in he held it for a year. Well, I don't know about that year. You know, you have to hold at least 2 years. Hold it for 2 years. You know, 2 years.
You got legends of the sport have defended their belt many times over.
Yeah,
I mean,
1 year.
I don't think that's warranted for him, but definitely have to respect
Hall of Famer.
Craft. I think you can make a case for that.
Okay.
Well, a pleasure to be able to watch him fight some of these great fighters. We just didn't know he was on a retirement fight this past weekend.
Pleasant surprise.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a nice send off, man. You did your TKO. You're riding off in the sunset. Salute to the Russian man. You know, salute. On to this person who's undeniable. She's undeniable. This one is a legend. Gabriela Fundora. She's definitely, she's not, I don't know. She's, you know, multiple belt, but she did what she did. You know, we expected this. I think we already talked about how when we talk about the female goats and how long Gabriela has been reigning and been in it kind of like hidden off all the women champions. We accredited to our weight division. You know, it's not out there front facing, and even her personality, just like her brother, they're not front facing and they're just not in your face. But you know, she's picking up victories, you know, quietly. You know, 17 wins, 9 knockouts at that weight category. That's kind of impressive, you know. I mean, she's taller than everybody, but
man, she's massive. The fight at 112. I'm like, who is compete with her at women's side? Like, just like be honest, like talent pool, highly skilled at the top, but you don't have a lot of this caliber.
This was a tough opponent. So the announcers were talking about pre-fight that they anticipated that Badillo would be able to finish the fight, but they didn't expect, you know, they felt like she would be outworked and outpointed, but they felt like she was tough enough to make it to the end.
Yeah, she didn't make it to the end.
Yeah,
she was knocked down in the 7th and looked at the ref and shook her head like, no mas. She actually got up, beat the count, looked at the ref and was like,
She was trying everything. She was trying overhand. She was trying to go side to side. You know, it's just she was never out Gabriela Fundora's range. It was just dangerous. And the knockout, vicious knockout. I mean, man, I don't know, man. The height disparity for a couple more divisions for her is still going to be a problem. I mean, any division really. Was she 5'10", 5'9"?
5'9".
Yeah, man. This is, you can go all the way. You can travel all the way to heavyweight with that height in the women's game. Like,
yeah, she's taller than Clarissa. She's taller than Clarissa.
Man. So
and also just putting everything in context, she's fought 17 times, 17 victories, 9 knockouts. The GOAT right now, Clarissa has fought professionally. Let's not talk about the amateur, because also Fundora has an amateur. She's she's Mexican. They have very good amateur pedigree. Both her and her brother. But Carissa has 16 victories, no losses. Let's see what Carissa's knockouts are. 3 knockouts. I know you talk about the unfair advantage because she's just this giant in her weight division. I mean, she's a skinny giant, but boy, she's putting in work and she's building that resume. And there has to be a conversation. Is she one of the best flyweights in women boxing in her generation? Yes, but now we're going to these people that are claiming GOAT in the many divisions, the Serranos who have been here for a long time, the Taylors who have been here, Savannah Marshall, all these people that stake that claim and clashing the Baumgardner, and we put Fundora in the mix. Yes, I think she deserves that shout.
Yeah, and then let's when it comes to comparing resumes, when you have somebody on the caliber of a Claressa Shields who has a documentary before they ever turn pro, you're not sneaking up on anybody,
right?
You know what I mean? There are no the tune-ups aren't really necessarily tune-ups. Like the confidence builders are. It's a different makeup. So
yeah.
People you gotta be willing. They know they know full well what they stepping into the ring with and what they signing up for.
Right.
You know,
and a person like Carissa right now at her level, she didn't need belts. I understand it because I think the game was told like they're paying for these belts, so they don't want most big names don't even want those belts. Like Canelo doesn't want the belts, like because he doesn't want to pay these organizations to hold their belt. And I can see a Fundora having all 4, which is I'm including the Ring magazine. She has that one too.
Administration fees.
Yeah, those fees are ridiculous to just hold them. And these are just accessories. And really and truly, Carissa is going to get the big fights because she's front facing. She's everywhere. She's marketable, bro. Like she's same thing as Baumgardner. And now Baumgardner has that fuel, which is most valuable promotions. Fundora has De La Hoya. I don't know how De La Hoya does. Well, Golden Boy does with their boxers. I don't know. It's something about Marchroom and Golden Boy. And weirdly enough, Golden Boy had the Golden Goose, which was Canelo at one time. But you know how that works. There's some fighters have had issues with Golden Boy, and I hope they handle this. This lady needs to be everywhere, especially with the Mexican community, with how Mexicans love boxing, with the pedigree that she's building and the legacy that she's building. She needs more. She needs more gas. She needs more lighter. She needs to be hotter than that. I think I may be wrong, but I think there's something there that I think Golden Boy could do to get her popping for the casual. But hey,
probably.
I think that's kind of also a testament to the weight division she's in, and I think there's a certain people, obviously you have a promotion company, it's, very important in this game, but the fighter themselves have to also understand the power of marketing and things like that as well. So I don't necessarily feel like you can put it squarely on your fighters when you have people that use their phones and their cameras as vehicles. And for her, she doesn't seem to be interested. She's just interested in fighting. I think for her, it's a natural progression. It's a lighter weight class, just like a Manny Pacquiao, right? Starts at a very low weight class and works way up. I think I could see Gabriela moving up because she's going to want the competition. Her brother necessarily doesn't have to move because there is competition at his weight class. There's big fights to be made, but I'm sure she want to chase greatness and chase the big fights that'll happen in other divisions. So we just got to appreciate what we're seeing right now and just accept it, man, and see what happens. I think it's gonna be a tough out for anybody she faces.
She goes by the moniker Sweet Poison.
Yeah, that's Like, yeah, psycho.
All right. Let's go on to who is the thumbnail for this show. The surgeon
Fan
made a
favorite.
resurgence and righted his wrongs. Did you watch this fight? Ben Whittaker versus Liam Cameron.
Yeah, I was watching it live actually, and just had my son turn to grab a snack, and then I turned back. The fight was over. So I'm like, "What happened? Like, what happened?" But the stoppage, that was a terrible stoppage.
I agree.
I mean, come on, man. Like, just there's safety is the utmost concern, obviously, but I think in this situation, we had a fighter that was willing to fight. So, but hey, it feels like righting a wrong. Ben Whittaker defeating him in that fashion, though. So, hey, we got to see it again. 7-0. We had a weird incident with the no contest last fight. We got to see it again. New opponent running back.
Yeah. He's an entertaining personality. I like the whole bringing the choir, like the church choir, and the whole ASAP Ferg. They wanted to see me dead, whatever. They thought I was dead and buried, whatever song he was playing coming out. And I mean, he's approach to leaning towards Jesus and the whole redemption thing and his post-fight. Actually, Big Baby Anderson reposted his video saying, because they share that same thing, that embarrassing snap back to reality moment they both shared. So they kind of were trauma bonding on Instagram. And not to mean like that, but they were kind of like, understanding each other's trials and tribulations, because really we lifted this guy, Ben Whittaker, like a helium balloon, bro. That fight, he was so entertaining with the fight before he fought Liam Cameron, or maybe a fight before the fight with Liam Cameron, where he was just so good, so sharp. He had the showmanship that even he had only fought like 5 times in the pros. And I was like, yo, I want to watch this guy fight even more. He brought out the orchestra last time. He's a showman. And same thing as Anderson, Big Baby. Very promising young heavyweight. There's just something about an American heavyweight. He did, fit the card, with age and everything and his prospect. And then the Bakole fight happens and the Liam fight happens, and this guy found a way out of that fight to be a no contest. But salute to a redemption story, and hopefully, finding Jesus is finding himself, and now we can, see him grow in the light heavyweight division. Hopefully, hey, S3, S3, this is the one. That's the one. That's the one. We need to make that happen. And if you're going to the UK, I'm coming. If you're going to the UK for a business trip, S3, I'm coming. We'll call it a business trip for real. Hey, I'm gonna be there.
Get a 7th pro fight. You're fighting a guy with 29 bouts. That's a tall order. So just gotta give him credit for even getting in the ring.
Ben Whittaker, he's the international IBF belt holder. He's currently ranked 15 on the IBF's ranking. I'm going to give you a rundown of all these guys. Lewis Edmondson out of the UK, Shah Butin Atayev out of Russia, Zach Parker out of England, Juan Carrillo out of Colombia, Vasily Vachahovsky, Russian. And then so we get to a familiar name here, Lyndon Arthur out of Germany. You're going to see that soon. Ali Ishmailov, Russia, Malik Zinad, Libya. Okay. Ayman Kateev out of Australia. Seen that. All right. Anthony Yard, who we've already talked about, is ranked 5th out of England. Albert Ramirez is 4. Better BF has fallen down to 3 for whatever reason. Connor Wallace is 2, and Michael Alford is number 1 contender, looks like. So Just some people in the light heavyweight division.
Mm.
Mm.
I know S3
I
right now is
would've-
looking at me like this. Like,
And those are the IBF rankings.
So wait,
That
well, hey, maybe not. I was gonna say something, but look, I would expect Ben Whittaker at this point in his career to be fighting here in the next 2-3 months. So one of those names, above or below, make it happen. Big fan. Hey, maybe we do have a run in at some point down the line.
he's ranked right now according to world rankings on BoxRec is 48. He's ranked 48th. S3 is around that area too. So Samuel the third, Arnold is around that space. So they're not far away from each other, and they're both recent pros. So you never know. Horns will lock, and like I said, if my man Samuel Arnold is doing an international business trip across the pond, hey, you never know who's fighting.
All right.
You never know. That would be a good one. And like Ben is exactly built like S3. Ben is like 6'3", 6'4", about that height, kind of lanky, light heavyweight. It would be a good matchup. Showman, pure boxing, S3. I mean, I'm selling the hell out of this, but
Right now, I'm like, who you got watching tonight?
and as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about all the names that I didn't name, and that just goes to show you the differences between the organizations.
Right.
But salute to you, Ben, and we want to see you fight again. Be more active. Like get that off. You got that monkey off your back. Let's get back to it. Because, bro, you're more famous than you are ranked. I mean, the Yadis are ranked high, so we want to see Ben because he's exciting. He's a good prospect fighter in that division. Of course, he has pedigree in the amateurs. He's an Olympian. He has done all that stuff. But now let's pick it up. Like for a fighter at seven pro fights, you need to be at least 3 fights a year. I don't know. Maybe that's too much. I don't know. 3 fights for a young fighter of his, 2 fights.
He's on the fast track. He's on the fast track, and he's going to get bigger names than most guys would. So that's a lot. We don't want to treat him like, we don't want him to run into a Bruno Sarace or whatever.
Yeah, because I know
Jaime Mugia, fighting too much. That's the
Canelo
risk
does
play.
2. Canelo's doing 2.
May and September.
If Canelo's
he went to Floyd.
Do 3.
He went the Floyd route. I think 3 is a safe number for him.
3, yeah, do 3. You're young. You're fresh. Let's do 3. Let's get those names on that list. Let's get those. Let's get those. Not stats, but let's see you active. Not Inoue style, because Inoue, that boy fights every time I blink. Inoue fighting. Yeah, he's a lot smaller, and I don't know about the recovery for Inoue's way, but that guy fights a lot. But I want to see Ben fighting more and be more active. Another fight that was under that same card. This was on a Sunday, by the way. This was not on the 19th. This was on the 20th. We had Delton Smith versus Canada's Mathieu Germain. Are you familiar with any of these fighters?
Not particularly. Yeah, I said that the last time we were talking about him. But no, Dalton Smith does have one Jose Cepeda to his name that he beat by knockout in 2024. That would have been March of 2024. Respectable opponent. Jose Cepeda had an overall record of 45-5. He's fought the likes of Ivan Redcash, Richard Hitchens, Regis Prograis, Hank Lundy, just to Jose Pedraza, so he's got a legitimate name to his record, to say the least, and so that adds some legitimacy to the 8-10-0.
And just for correction's sake, this was not the Queensberry promotions. My apologies. This was actually a Saturday fight. This was under Matchroom DAZN, so this happened Saturday, and this was also within the division of super lightweight. So,
We had a lot of boxing on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and again coming up.
So Dalton, I mean, that resume is looking good. 18 wins, 14 knockouts, fighting Canadian Matthew Germain, who came in with 26 victories, 3 losses, and 1 draw. And his victories came by 11. Came in 4. Some of his victories came with 11 knockouts. According to what I have here on my notes, Jermaine is very formidable. Comes with a very high pedigree over Canada. They know him, and he's been busy and active out there. Dalton Smith, highly looked at as a prospect over there in the UK. So people are looking at him as, of course, even the bookies had him winning this fight by
contender
decision. But it is what it is. He did pull it out with a TKO.
Got to be a contender.
Was it he won it by unanimous decision? Sorry, my apologies. So like just how the bookies had it. Moving on. I'm gonna skip this. Let's go right to Padley, because I know we still have to talk about predictions. We talked about this man. I mean, and he shows up. Josh Padley fought Marco. I can't say this is a tongue twister here.
Svetanovic.
There you go, Svetanovic. And this is also in the same division. This is lightweight. That was last one we talked about, super light. This is just lightweight. Same card. This was Matchroom DAZN. Josh Padley, man.
Mm-hmm.
The fifth round TKO. Fifth round TKO.
See.
Right. And I'm having here.
Cam, you want to go in on that?
Actually, I tracked this fight as he's doing his post fight interview. I try to catch it, but one thing about him, he just looks supremely confident. Like, he got his chest out like this. I think he felt empowered by the loss to Shakur. Sounds like, based on the post fight interview, that it provided him more security to focus on his training. So, I mean, I thought he put on a great performance against Shakur. So, I mean, I would definitely want to keep an eye out on him. So that's a 5th round TKO.
Same, man. Same. And the guy that he fought was previously undefeated.
Yeah, 13-0. So down twice in the 5th round.
Yes.
So, and one thing he did, his fans were in the background loud. They were loud, and they made sure that their support was known. So that's always good to see as well.
Do you think Padley
with the fighter?
Do you think Shakur won Padley some new fans?
Me?
Oh, you're talking to him. Right. We talk about him on the show. Like, what?
Talked about him being a man of trade, and he's working class man, fighting the mighty Shakur Stevens and putting on a show.
Got to, man.
And
that just the performance that he put on short notice.
Yeah.
Being able to last that long with the fighter who was supposed to be the class of the generation.
Yeah.
You got my respect.
Yeah. Yeah.
He goes a long way.
Josh Padley, man. Hopefully he's not. Is he still doing electrical work still, or he's just chilling now? I mean, now just focusing on with this new foreign fame. I mean,
look, hey, hopefully, like I said, use the fight money, sustain the business. You don't necessarily have to be out there getting your hands dirty, but now you can shoot the commercials. You can have your crews that you send out there. Maybe you buy some vans. Who knows what the man needs? But yeah, stay in the business.
Yep.
Yeah, he's in it. Nah, he's in it. He's ready for some more. So
Yeah, maybe it's just at this point, let that be supplemental income.
There you go. With that was coverage from previous weekend fights. Unfortunately, or fortunately for the time, we didn't have any UFC fights this weekend. So the next UFC fight is going to be this coming weekend, and it's still UFC Fight Night. It's not really the quintessential UFC with the numbers. Like the next UFC is going to be 3/15, I believe, but it's not yet. It's not this week, so we won't be covering that. We'll be like our midweek specials. We'll be doing some predictions, going over some fights that are going to happen this weekend. And as you can see from the running banner, quite a lineup that we have. Do you guys remember what Liam Smith did?
Mm-hmm.
You remember?
I mean, professionally.
Man, when he knocked out Eubank Jr. Knocked him out cold. That was a knockout. I mean, Eubank Jr. got it back in blood, but yeah, it's interesting. This lineup is action packed. I know at least 80% of these fighters. So, and if the name Vidal Riley, you know who that is? He's a heavyweight. I think he bounces between heavyweight and cruiser. He used to be KSI's trainer. Great. He was also under Money Mayweather. He was, I think, one of the Mayweather. I don't know if it's Jeff that was training him. One of the Mayweathers was training him. He's a good heavyweight fighter out there overseas. I mean, he's UK and Las Vegas based. So these are some legit names. But the crown of the day, the one that is going to be headlining this is the fight that has been wanted for 35 years. If you remember Nigel Benn, you remember the OG, Chris Eubank. Now their sons are getting into it. We have Corner, who's Nigel's son, and then we have Junior fighting, just like how they shook up the world 35 years ago, or was it that long? I think it was 35 years ago, something like that. When their fathers danced together, the sons are going to do the same thing. Although this time, one of their fathers won't be in the corner for son, and it's one of those things that reminds me of Floyd Mayweather and his pops when they're going through their trials and tribulation. And yeah. Did you guys see today's presser, their conference thing they had before their fight Saturday? And they were having the back and forth about pain and all that stuff.
Did not see the presser, but I was aware that Conor Ben didn't want to be in the same room as Eubank. So they were in the same room? Is that what
they were in the same room, but of course, there were people in between them. They were sitting down and talking. So Eubank went on about pain, and he said boxing is no pain. He kind of just going through what pain is, because you heard about his brother that died, or his body still in overseas, I think in Dubai, somewhere in the Middle East, and they could not find him. And right now, Chris is taking care of his 3-year-old son. And then he's like, pain is when your dad has not spoke to you in 3 years or years upon because he thinks you're a disgrace. He's like, fighting this guy is not pain. He's like, so it's kind of like Chris Eubank is going through it mentally. And he was talking about boxing being easy. And because somebody said, are you scared about, because we know Corner Ben, explosive, kind of does like the peekaboo style. He's a very interesting throwback fighter with the way he moves with his aggression, his speed, his explosive combos. And somebody brought the idea of pain, because you know how Chris Eubank Jr. fights. He's a very calm dude. He works off his stamina. He's a volume puncher. He has a great chin. Sometimes he gets sit. They sit him down because of that, but it was a pretty interesting presser, and I mean, last time they had a presser, somebody got hit with an egg, but it's something that that is of sight. I mean, I highly recommend and suggest, if you've not seen it, go out there and look for that presser that they had today. But fellas, what's your take on this matchup?
I mean, I don't really need the theatrics accompanying it. You know, it's great storylines. Kind of like when the daughters of Ali and Frazier fought. You know, you can tie it to the past. That's great. Great storylines and great historical context. But I think this is going to be a good matchup. Two guys with solid resumes. Not only is Eubank Jr. fought Liam Smith, he's also fought Billy Joe Sanders, right? Conor Benn went on a run before he had his hiatus. He's fought knocked out Chris Algieri, unanimous decision over Adrian Granados, TKO Samuel Vargas, unanimous decision Sebastian Formella. So let's see. He last fought.
He's also been he's been on sabbatical for the PDs.
Right. So last fought February of 2024. So that was Conor Benn's layoff. When was the last time that Eubank last fought? Was this last October?
Mm-hmm. October 12th, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe it's ring rust. You know, maybe Ben's gonna have to shake off some ring rust. Not a whole lot of activity there.
Yeah. What do you guys think? If you see them standing together, there's a physical difference. Ben is a natural welterweight. He fights at 147. And then we have Eubank that fights at middle and super middle. So he's fighting at 60, 67, I think. I talked to Cam. He said they're meeting at 60.
Yeah, middleweight, 160 weight limit for this fight.
So that is going up almost about close to like 14 pounds or something of that nature.
So if Eubank has about a 74% knockout rate, he's 35 years old now. Are we expecting him to lose some power, and then maybe Conor Benn power to translate better as he goes up in weight?
I can see that. But you see, Eubank.
I'm just throwing that out there, Cam. What do you think?
Yeah.
Well, no, I think Conor Benn looks.
Can you hear? Am I?
Yeah. It's just it is two divisions. He'll be jumping up from 147. So we just hope that he's been training at that weight or walking around a certain weight that gives him the confidence to get in that bout and perform that way. He's going to be trying to knock this guy out. The biggest thing is, does he keep his composure? Because Chris Eubank may have just frazzled Conor Benn on such a level that he makes a mistake.
Right.
There will be a size difference.
So has Ben's last two fights been at 160? Because I see
145, 147. They've been
last
welterweight. Wait, let me make sure. I think
so. I'm looking at 2022 welterweight.
He's a welterweight.
Last fight he weighed in at 150.
150.
Okay.
And then Rodolfo he weighed in at 154 weight limit.
Yeah.
So we're and in 2022 against Chris Hearden, he came in at the welterweight limit at 147.
Right.
And I think that was Algeria as well. Algeria was welterweight. So he's been right on the money. So they're fighting at 154. So one division, but certainly he's been fighting at welterweight for quite some time. First fight at this weight class.
They might be telling us that he's been struggling to stay down that low too.
You know, like there's another aspect to this fight. It's experience. You know, Corner Ben is the exciting fighter, right? We've seen Eubank fight a long time. We've seen Eubank going through wars. Yeah, he's had some wars. He does have the names on his resume. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing a Eubank versus Boots. That's on a side note, but Eubank is clearly the more experienced fighter, but Corner is the one that I look at like, bro, Corner is like the British version of Tank. Like I want to see. I like explosive, athletic fighters. So it's weird. Like I'm seeing Eubank is kind of like the old man with the chin. You know, he's been through some battles. I don't know if his chin is still. He's been knocked out some cold knockouts that he's struggled with. So I don't know. It's gonna be a good fight, but you cannot knock experience or ring IQ.
Also, I mean, we're looking down the card. Yard versus Lyndon Arthur definitely has implications on there. As we know, Benavidez isn't going to get a crack at. He's not going to get a crack at Bivol right away. So I want to say Eddie Hearn has thrown out the name Anthony Yard.
It's Strap's favorite.
He also said Callum Smith wants to fight Benavidez. So
I like Yard, but you know, Yard he's been one of those fighters, like he has the Anthony Joshua in him. Like he was promoted at one time heavy, but what Beterbiev did to him. I mean, Beterbiev could do that to anyone, right? You know, Beterbiev is not a joke, but what the two Russians did to him, it took away that whole mystique that the British media was giving him, because Yard was supposed to be the knockout artist, the prestigious Adonis body, like, you know, the whole Anthony Joshua hype, and Beterbiev came and did what Beterbiev does, dismantled him. If you remember, the guy we talked about, Kovalev, knocked one of the most brutal knockouts I've ever seen. Knocked him out cold. There's something about Yard, man. Like if you're putting David Benavidez, who is a killer, straight killer, I worry for him. I don't think he's of that level. You know?
Hey man, Eddie Hearn trying to promote his guys, man.
I want to see Benavidez fight the Beterbieves and those animals. I want to see him fight the Bivol, you know, like, but if
we're telling you that that's not on the menu for the
day, I guess Yard is the man. Yard, I'm not saying Yard is
Salisbury steak, and then you go enjoy it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. That's all we got tonight.
Actually, Yard and Arthur, this is their third time fighting, right? The first time Arthur beat him on a split decision. Second time Yard knocked out Arthur in the fourth round, KO. So now this is the third time they're dancing, and I don't know what you said the incentives are, or whoever the victors of this gets a title chance. That'll be interesting.
You gotta be at least in contention. Like there's gotta be a conversation. Hey, the winner of this fight. Hey, let's toss it up. Does the fight get made with one of the belts?
I'm just saying they're both on the IBF rankings, and we know the IBF is the back door to a big fight.
Yeah, yep. I mean, I want to see Yard. Oh wait. Let me pull that back. Has Callum Smith and Benavidez fought yet, or have they ever dashed?
I don't believe so.
Because I'm looking at the UK contenders. That would make sense, and I know that's just, you know. Who else is that in there from the UK that is ranked high?
Yeah, they're saying that Callum Smith has sent contracts. They say he's actively seeking the fight.
Okay.
This is according to Eddie Hearn.
Okay. That one I want to see.
That's your boy. Hey,
How about Joshua Boatesi?
That's who just. I mean, he's got a unanimous decision over. Well, Callum Smith has a unanimous decision over him. So,
I mean, there's some people in there, but Yard is in the mix, man. He's number 9. So, I mean, yeah, throw him Yard. Let's go. I mean, he's still a British media darling, and they'll sell that fight in the UK. But I know, man, Benavidez is he comes and rips skulls off, and you throw that. Hey, Benavidez is a problem, and it's clear when you see Canelo saying, "I'm never gonna give that guy a chance." Canelo knows. He's like, "This is my last dance. Don't mess it up for me. I'm doing my Jordan last dance. I'm documenting this. There are cameras everywhere. He has cameras at Sway when he's doing." Canelo is kind of bowing out, and you don't want that young animal right there. Bivol doesn't want that too, even though there's more money. I know Bivol does not want that, but I trust the Russians don't fear anything, so I don't think it's fear, but it's just I think it's a money thing. But hey, throw Benavidez Yard. Let's see how that looks like. I mean, let Yard beat London Arthur, and then or Lyndon Arthur. So
y'all got anything? Y'all see if y'all can find something on this Aaron McKenna. 25 years old.
Smith fight.
Yeah, 25 years old, 19-0. Is that? I mean, I'm trying
to. Iran.
Aaron. Yeah.
Actually, I've seen this dude fight. I've seen him fight on Queensberry, I believe. I may have seen his last fight.
This is a step up right here. I mean,
Liam is a beast. Liam Smith is a beast. And they're fighting at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in Tottenham. This is in North London. I mean,
WBC World Youth Champion, WBC International Champion.
His nickname is the Silencer. He's Irish.
Hey. I like that nickname.
The Silencer.
He's trying to see.
Ooh, he's in the middleweight. He's ranked 13th, so he's not a joke. World rankings 13th. He's number 1 in the Irish ranking. He has a 52.63% knockout rate. So he cracks.
I mean, this is a big step up.
19 victories, 10 knockouts, 0 losses. So Liam,
these cars have been really good though. Cars in the UK, these early afternoon, Saturday afternoon or early evening, man. I mean, Liam Smith, Aaron McKenna, that's gonna be a fight right there.
But all along I thought Liam Smith is older than me because he's always looked old. Like he had gray hair. He's had gray hair for the longest. Dude is only 36. I mean, that's old, but still, like, bro,
36.
Yeah, he's only 36. He's been around for a long time, bro, and he's fought everyone. He's fought everyone. Jesse Vargas, he's fought. Eubank twice. He's fought. He fought Canelo back in he fought Canelo in 2016.
Hey, for real, he don't look too much different than Paul Wall right now.
Man.
Oh man, I'm telling
Paul
you,
Wall rocking the gray right now too.
Boy, he's younger than me.
He look like one of those throwback hoopers you see. Like they like, bro, they wasn't hooping like that, and it'd be somebody like grandpa, like
when they said they were playing against plumbers back in the day.
Yeah, they would pull up a picture of him and be like, yeah, bro, might knock it out. So watch out.
He has almost a full head of grays, bro. That's crazy, and he's been like that for a minute. I'm like, dog, you aging like milk. Egg, you 30. All along, I thought he was 40 or something, like because he's been around for a while, and he's You know, in 2016, he fought Canelo. I remember him fighting. He had gray hair back then, I believe. He was maybe in his 20s. Like, that's crazy.
Oh man.
But anyways, that's a good one. After seeing what Aaron McKenna's record is and how is highly talked about in the Irish community over there. I was just looking some articles that he's a good fighter. I mean, that may be sometimes you got to beat somebody that's been around to make a name, because if he beats Mr. Smith, that would be a statement and something to kind of bring him to the masses, especially in a big card like this. This is probably going to be a sold out arena. That arena holds about 60,000 people, so it's going to be a big stage. He better show out. Who else do we have? We have a couple of Smiths in this,
bro.
Yeah, Chris.
I'm trying. Hold on a second, man. I don't know if artificial intelligence is going to troll me on this or what, but it says Smith has also coached at Justine Henon's Tennis Academy, the Harry Hopman Academy in Saddlebrook. He worked as the national head coach for Tennis Australia.
Wait.
Is this the same guy, Liam Mark Smith?
It might just be a popular name, dog.
Who previously held the world boxing? Is that AI tripping? AI putting two people together?
So Liam Mark Smith is him, and his nickname is Beefy. So pause.
Yeah.
It's from Liverpool.
Is AI putting two people together here?
Yeah, they still figuring out hands and stuff.
Wait a minute.
Well, there's this new Google AI that figured out how to put hands. It's crazy. It's called Google Labs. You should check it out.
Figure it out, right?
They figured the hands out. But yeah, Liam Mark Smith, if he was a tennis coach, man, that's a man of multiple talents. He looks like what's his name, Richard Gere.
No, I thought you were gonna say the world's most interesting man.
Dos Equis.
All right, fellas, make sure you watch it in front of the TV like around 3 p.m. 2 p.m. Main event ring walks are expected to start around 4 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Oh wow,
bro! No, there's a there's a tennis player, same name, same age. Oh man! Shout out to artificial intelligence. Still working the kinks out.
All right, fellas. We won't dwell on these two last names, the Vidal Riley, but let's do our league. So, according to our league, let me see if I could pull it up here and I could share the notes to see, so you guys could see what the league looks like. I don't know if I could. No, I don't think I don't. I want to share my notes with this is going on the internet, but. As we had discussed, Kam Gee is still ahead based on his predictions that we had for the Boots fight. LT and myself are tied at 5 points. Kam Gee collected house, man. He took everything. He took all the 10 points. This time around, do you want to do two fights or do you want to do just the main one? Or what do you guys feel like?
Let's just do the main one this week.
That's the main one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Kam Gee, since you're the victor, you go first.
I'm going to take Eubank Jr. late stage 10th round.
10th round. I'm writing this down.
10th round stoppage.
Eubank.
And I just think I'm saying that because there's gonna be a size difference. There is an experience difference. I really feel like Conor Ben cannot help himself but be emotional, and that's okay. And I think it'll be a competitive fight. I just think maybe it'll be a little too much towards the later round.
10th round stoppage for Cam on Eubank Jr. On Eubank Jr. Okay. LT, we tied at 5, man. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go Chris Eubank Jr. No belts on the line, so this is probably a 10-round fight. So I'm gonna go round 9 stoppage. I see Eubank. It's gonna have to be a TKO. I see the referee saving Conor Benn from himself. I see Eubank countering.
Ooh, you adding more detail. Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing Eubank countering here, and just the experience of Eubank against the combination of ring rust. So
you see a lot of traps being set in the last when the legs get heavy, traps being set, letting the aggressive guy fall onto a trap with a counter. Okay. All right. TKO.
It's show. No, it is a 12-round bout.
Ooh.
Scheduled 12 rounds per box rec.
So right now we have Kam going with a 10th round KO, knockout or TKO. LT went with a more explicit detail. He said 9th round counter is going to get him out of here. So that's actually, you're going with a KO, not a TKO. You're not getting a stop.
Well, I think the referee is gonna have to stop it. I think Conor Benn continues to get up, but yeah.
So he's gonna be stopped either way. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I could find a strategy. I could do some math and find a strategy how to do well on that stable. The strategy is copy the person who's ahead. So if he gets it wrong, and we both get it wrong, if he gets it right, I'm piggybacking. That's a good thing of going last. So let me see. I'm gonna go with Eubank, unanimous decision. Just to break the norm. So it's going to be a UD. And I'm going for unanimous, not split. So I'm being explicit here. It's not going to be, it's going to be stay away from the explosive guy. Work on your greatest strength because we know Eubank has great stamina. He gets better and better as the rounds improve. Very good predictions because he does knock out people late. He has a good chin. I don't think Conor Benn may have the skill level to trap him. I mean, he has great combinations, but Eubank is a good volume puncher, whether it's jabbing, whether it's getting people off you, whether it's a check hook to confuse, to pivot and just keep you moving. I think that is going to help him score. I don't think either fighter have that one punch knockout. So they're just going to hit you like a death by 1,000 cuts for both fighters. Conor Benn may have it at the 147 because those are smaller guys. I don't know how that translates when he's at 160. Maybe it's strong, maybe stronger, or maybe it's just the pop is not there. I don't know how that translates. I'll have to see that. But the only way I can see Conor Benn winning this fight is by knocking out Eubank because we've seen that happen. But I don't think Eubank. I think he has so much ring IQ to not let a less experienced fighter like Conor to put him in that position. So, and I kind of, yes, Eubank has been knocked out, but I've seen him go to war. I trust this chin a little bit. Pause. Yeah. So yeah, unanimous decision. Safe bet, 12 rounds. All right, let's see how that translates Sunday or Saturday, whenever they done with the event.
Saturday afternoon.
Saturday afternoon. But ladies and gentlemen, we've even passed the hour mark by 30 minutes. It's been a quick show. I mean, we covered quite a bit of revisionist recap, and we've fast forwarded it to the future with predictions. I think it's been a hell of a show. Hopefully, Kam doesn't get all 10, so we can survive a little bit. If he gets all 10, then he's cruising past us on the points.
All right, well, we got a big fight weekend after this, so we got opportunities to catch up.
Yeah. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another exciting episode 53 of Who's Fighting. Fellas, Kam Gee, LT, who's
fighting?